Delta, QRZ. Hello 40, CEQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ 40.
Golf Whiskey 1, Charlie Uniform Crew.
QRZ?
Golf Whiskey 1, Charlie Uniform Crew.
Golf Whiskey 1, Uniform Charlie Queen, I believe that was. Good evening, 5858 here into the Northeast UK. Name is Lee, Lima Echo Echo. Go ahead.
Okay, Lee, 6, November Delta, GW1CUQ. Okay there, Lee, the name this way is November India Golf Echo Lima, and the location is Cardiff in South Wales. GW1CUQ.
Yeah, no problem. They're doing a great job here. I'd have corrected your call. Golf Whiskey 1, Charlie, Uniform Quebec. Yeah, no problem. Doing a great job here. Lovely to hear you. A little bit of intergy here on 40 metres, so great to get a couple of contacts on the band there. You take it easy, 7-3, and hopefully work you again many more times in the future. Look after yourself and the family. Regards from here in the northeast part of the UK. Golf Whiskey 1, Charlie Uniform Quebec, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta. Take care.
Yeah, the 6 and 2, please, in the near back, GW1. Yeah, okay, lovely signal. A little bit of fade on your signal, but solid 5756, even a 58 or so. Okay, enjoy yourself. I wish you just a good night, and hopefully catch you on your boat stands again there. Enjoy the interview.
Yeah, no problem. You take it easy, 7-3, and enjoy the conditions. QRZ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta. QRZ 40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta. Golf 6, Mike, November Delta. QRZ. Hello 40, CEQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CEQ40, CEQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ. Hello 40, CEQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CEQ40, CEQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ. QRZ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ. Hello 40, CEQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling 40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ. There is a station there, but extremely weak, and in the noise, I do apologise. Try again. Negative, I do apologise. QRZ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ. CQ40, CQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ 40. Hello 40, CQ, CQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CQ40 meter, CQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ. Hello 40, CQ, CQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ. Good evening and welcome. QRZ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CQ40, CQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ.
Hey, good evening and welcome. I thought I'd just put a couple of calls out. I have been getting a few contacts here on 40 metres, a couple of Intergy stations, a couple of Irish contacts, one into Wales, as you heard as I started the stream off, and yeah, a little bit of Intergy. Why not? I thought I might as well stream something different for you guys. So yeah, here we are. A little bit of radio for a change. You will hear the audio change slightly from what you're hearing at the minute to what people hear on the radio. So we'll jump straight back in, put a few more calls out, and get it back on track. See if we can get a few calls in the log on 40 metres.
CQ40, CQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ.
And good evening to you there, Lawrence. Cheers for joining. Victor Echo 3 Hotel Quebec, Mike. Please you can join us there.
CQ40, CQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CQ40, CQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CQ40. Hello 40, CQ40 meter, CQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CQ40, CQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ.
Now this sucks bad when I'm putting calls out and I'm not getting anything back. But never mind, I was getting contacts, don't worry. We'll just keep going.
CQ40, CQ40 meter, CQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CQ40, CQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ. Hello 40, CQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CQ40, CQ40 meters, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ 40. Was there a Golf 0? Was there a Golf 0 calling? Was there a Golf 0 calling there? Was there a Golf 0 calling? Dave, if that's you calling, unfortunately, I'm not getting you. I've got the Golf 0, but that's about it. Sorry, I do apologise. QRZ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ. CQ40 meters, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CQ40, CQ, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ.
Yeah, no problem there, Lawrence. Cheers for jumping in. Appreciate it. You take it easy and stay safe out there. I'll catch up with you there another time there.
CQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, calling CQ40, Golf 6, Mike, November Delta, QRZ.
Oh, this is really, really bad. It's typical. It is typical of a live stream. You get the contact before you start the stream off. You think, oh great, you carry it on in the live stream, and lo and behold, yeah, you guessed it, everything just goes quiet. It is one of them things. It is frustrating. However, it's what the band conditions are like. It's what live streaming is. Not everything goes according to plan all the time. So with that, all I can do is hold my hands up and sorry. what equipment? What am I using? What am I operating? I'm operating the IC7300. One of the probably one of the most used bits of equipment amongst amateur radio operators at the minute. The IC7300. It's a little. Yeah, I am going to say it is a little tank of a radio. It can withstand some battering, as it were. It's small, fits in it is a small radio. It packs a great punch. That's all I can say about it. Looks good, easy to operate, and the interface is, as you can see, pretty straightforward and pretty easy to use. I can use the interface on what you're seeing behind us there at the minute. I can use that. Everything is functioning on there with the radio, so there's no sort of, you don't have to physically touch the radio. So it's the IC7300 is, yeah, it is a great little radio. What else am I using? The ACOM 1010 valve linear amplifier. It is capable of it's rated at 700 watts output. However, the UK legal limit is 400 watts. It is what it is. Stick to the licensing conditions and you won't go wrong. So yeah, 400 watts is what what I'm licensed to operate, but the linear ticks over at 400 watts nicely. You're not overpowering it, you're not overdriving it, but it is capable of 700 watts. However, it has been known to run a little bit more. It can, and it has been mentioned by a couple of people, especially over in the States. It can be operated up to a kilowatt, but it's not recommended to overdrive it too much. You don't want to absolutely crucify that valve. So as it stands at the minute, to put it into perspective, really, you're driving a high performance car at low rate. It's not great all the time, however, it just ticks over. Aerials, what aerials am I using? I've got two. I do have the option of two aerials. The Hustler 6-band trapped vertical, which has been modified with an additional 3 bands. So 17 meters. What else has it got? 17 meters, 60 meters, and top band is the 3 additional bands that I have on the Hustler. Pretty straightforward once you know how to get the top band section, and it is just a small portion of the band that it's tuned in for. It's the bandwidth isn't that great, however it's tuned to where I want it tuned. It does what I need it to on top band. For you guys that are wondering what top band is, it's 160 meters, which is 1.8 megahertz. So yeah, it's what it is. Given the space, reduced space, it fits quite well in this location. The other aerial I have is the J-Beam 2 element tribander, the TH2 Mark III. That is up around 30 foot. Does quite well. It is what it is. Obviously it is on a rotator, so yep, I can move it around where I need to beam. So there we go. Just a quick hello to David. Cheers for joining in from HRDX Island. Appreciate it for jumping in, and yeah, good to see you out there. You as well, Amanda. Cheers for watching. You might have just been scrolling through, but yeah, great for you guys. Grateful for you guys joining. Like I say, band conditions, 40 meters was absolutely jumping before I put the live stream on. I got a couple of contacts, a couple of contacts into Ireland, one into Wales, and I can't think off the top of my head where the other one was. I was a 2 Echo Zero down south, so yeah, it's great to hear a little bit of Intergy. I was going to continue with a little bit more calls, but I don't want to bore you with just putting calls out. It does become quite frustrating, especially for you guys, the viewers, just watching somebody just calling CQ. However, that's what you've got to do to get the contacts. Everybody's like, yeah, you've got the radio, what do you do? That is what I do. Call CQ, get people to come to me, or I scan through the bands, as some people like to put it, I spin the dial to get the contacts, have a listen through the band and work with other stations. So I'm going to the other stations as well. What drives you to operate the radio? I've had that question a few times in the past. What drives us to operate the radio? To be honest, it's a hobby. That's the top and bottom of it. Amateur radio, operating the amateur radio bands is a hobby. It's not just a case of sitting in the house, sitting in the shack, as it is known. It's a case of you can go out. You can go out into the middle of nowhere, to be perfectly honest, operate the radio on a battery. All the radios are operational on a 12 volt battery, car battery, for example. So yeah, you can operate the radio any way you like. And why did I take up the opportunity to get the license? It was a challenge. Basically, I like to set myself a challenge. Why not? Everybody likes to set themselves goals and challenges. Amateur radio, getting the license was the challenge for me. Where did I start in radio? Where 99% of ham radio operators come from. Yes, cast your mind back to the 70s, which was a craze, 70s and 80s, around that time. It was an absolute craze with CB, Citizen Band Radio. Back in the early 90s, yes, not that long ago for some of us, back in the early 90s, I got into CB radio. A couple of lads I knew at the time were into the CB radios. That's what got me hooked, listening to people, talking to people locally. That's what it was. That's what got me into the radio. That's what sort of got my interest. It wasn't until about six years ago or thereabouts I actually ended up getting the foundation license. At the time, between the early 90s and up until recently, radio clubs, to be perfectly honest, amateur radio wasn't really advertised per se. More a case of if you knew somebody that was into amateur radio, that's the person you would go to. I just noticed the band, the Wi-Fi dropped out, so yes, I did spot that. It's amateur radio. If you knew somebody that was into amateur radio, it was sort of your step into it. It's not to be honest, amateur radio back then wasn't as open as it is now, with a lot of us guys doing live streams, doing shows, and rolling through what you can actually do on the radio, who you can contact, what the band conditions are like. There's so much. Amateur radio is, yeah, I'll finish that one off. There's so much background behind amateur radio. It's not just a case of there's a radio there, there's an aerial up there, press a button, get going. It's not a case of doing that. It's a case of understanding and self-teaching within the hobby. That's the prime part of it. You've got to really educate yourself with the hobby, with the help of others. Don't be fooled by just jumping in, getting the foundation book and saying that's it, I want to get my license. You need to have the understanding. You need to understand radio. There is a couple of guys out there that have just come in, got the license, and going, yeah, I've got the license. What do I do now? They've got, to be honest, and I'm not being harsh. I don't mean to be harsh on anybody. They just haven't got a clue with radio. They get the license, they do the online exam, and it's a case of it has been. I've noticed it on a few of the forums. People getting the license and going, what do I do? What's the best way to do it? How do I go about it? Really, over the past year and a half, it has been difficult to get to speak to anybody with their clubs, in clubs. It's a case of you've got to be educated from those that are already educated within radio. It's a waste of, no disrespect to anybody when I say this, but it's, at the minute, it seems and it appears to be the blind leading the blind with the radio, and the rules and regulations. Yeah, you take it easy there, Dave. Look after yourself. I'll catch up with you further down. Look after yourself. Cheers for dropping in. Appreciate it. But yeah, I don't mean to disrespect anybody in any way, shape or form, but yeah, blind leading the blind, and it does show. It shows big style on some of the forums that I follow. Yeah, you've got the daft lads. Everywhere's got the daft lads. You look at some of the comments and you go, oh, really, you didn't just ask that question, or you didn't just comment on that. Some people want to learn, and unfortunately, Facebook forums. Sorry to you guys that do the Facebook forums, but they're not the place to try and educate people, because there's a lot of people that are out there are trying to, dare I say it, cripple the amateur radio bands, get people into trouble. Yes, it does happen. People getting that radio operators into trouble for doing something that realistically they should know better of. But there again, it's not just isolated cases within the amateur radio. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter what you're trying to learn. There's always going to be fools out there think that they know everything, and to be honest, it shows that they know absolutely jack. They know nothing at all. But that's the way the hobby is. That's the way most hobbies are. You're going to have the guys that are going, to be honest, the guys that are, they talk the talk, but they haven't got the knowledge, if that makes sense. Anyway, amateur radio, why do we do it? To be honest, what would you rather do? Go to the pub, up against a wall? Nah. I've at least here in this, we've got stuff to show for the hobby. Some will like to help other guys within the hobby get places, understand certain things. For example, aerials. That's the biggest one that people really need to understand is aerials. But there's places out there where you can get the information regarding the aerials and what they are, what they do, what the best way to install them is. Now I am going to put me neck on the block here, and nah, I'm not. Anyway, right. It was meant to be a stream of contacts on 40 meters, but it's one of those. Yeah, live streams are live streams. You're not guaranteed contact all the time. 20 meters, there is a bit of activity. 10 meters, hey, I'll turn the volume up for you guys. I'll knock this off. So yeah, 10 meters. Believe it or not.
Thank you very much for the first contact with
10 meters is open, and there is 2300 hours local time, 2200 hours UTC. So Fox 8 is France, for you guys that are wondering. So yeah, French station there. Did switch it over to the 2-element beam. We'll come down here. So there is activity on 10 meters. Believe it or not, it's fun. Great to see the band in great condition.
Beaming south doesn't affect, of course, and well, it's not a bad place. I'm gonna say I won't complain too much. I'm quite happy with what I can work from here. So all I'm gonna say.
So yeah, some great signals there on 10 meters. If anybody is interested in switching the radio on and getting a couple of contacts, I did get a few contacts earlier on 10 meters, as well as voice and FT8, believe it or not. So there we go. Right, I'm going to disappear. It was just a short stream. If there had been a few more contacts on 40 meters, I would have continued. But it's what it is. Anyway, you take it easy, guys. Look after yourselves, and 7-3 from here out of the small station of the northeast UK. It's Golf 6 Mike November Delta. Signing clear with you guys. Look after yourselves, and yeah, enjoy the bands.